All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, Apparition, Jackie. Oh, wait, and Void Dweller. Who would want to leave, Jackie? I think that, I hope that Takako would want to leave because I want her to know that. Oh God, like there's so many questions left last time on Seabed. Takako seems perfectly fine except for her lost memory. But she does remember a lot, like she remembers the trips that they took, and she remembers who she was, and most disturbingly, through her memory, sorry, it looks like that she and Sachiko broke up, at least from her memory, which is quite disturbing on my end. Like, I really don't want that to be the case. Why does she think that they broke up? Is it just because she's not there with her now? Like, is it because she's not coming to get her? What was this, like, big event that did this to them? Are they even in the same world? Because Narasaki seems so sure that Takako is dead. And then in the tips, we see Narasaki in that same medical facility, which I really hope doesn't take place in the future. But we also know that we can't 100% trust what Narasaki says, in that Narasaki, with good intentions, lied to Takako. Like, exactly, Void Dweller. Like, Sachiko thought she died, and Takako for some reason thinks she broke up, and that is what I really want to know what's going on. So let's get back into it. I love this so much, this new indicator, even though there's only 5 save files. Click. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, okay, now it's working. Whew! I thought it froze on me for a second. After we both returned to the night duty room following our bath, Mayuko went off into the kitchen to prepare some tea. I was about to pull a seat cushion closer to myself to sit on when my eyes wandered to a vase on the windowsill. Hello, T. Welcome to the stream. A branch of the camphor tree from the inner yard rested in it, with a yellowish-green caterpillar crawling along one of its leaves. You took it with you? There was a newspaper laid under the vase. Yes. I thought it might drown in that rain. I could hear Mayuko's voice from the kitchen. Huh. Ah! The caterpillar pointed its 2 antennae at me and turned completely motionless. I tried addressing the thing with a good for you, but it showed no reaction. Ungrateful caterpillar. Mayuko came into the room carrying a tray with a teapot and two teacups on it. Once she reached the table, she filled the cups with steaming tea and handed one to me. After taking a sip, I let out a brief sigh. Having a bath at noon is a wonderful thing. Oh, I think I swapped them. Having a bath at noon is a wonderful thing. I agree. The hum of the rainfall filled the silence of the room. The sky was covered by a host of dark clouds, giving our surroundings an evening-like gloom. Mayuko snuffed her nose. I took the thermometer from Mayuko's hands, who herself was lying in bed. The red line of the mercury-filled tube had decreased to 30. Whoa! I took the thermometer to cool it down, then put it back into its case. Wait, where was that thermometer? What was she? Was the thermometer inside the tea? Or was the thermometer... Is she that sick? What is going on? 39 degrees? Where was that thermometer? Oh my god. Wow. They say that doctors don't follow their own advice. But what about nurses? Mayuko slightly furrowed her brows in indignation, but ultimately said nothing. Oh my god, is that Mayuko's temperature? Is she that sick? Oh my god. Oh my god. Damn. Well, Void Dweller in Celsius, 37 is body temperature. So yeah, that's kind of bad. After cooling off the towel in the silver bowl and squeezing most of the water out of it, I placed it on the still protesting Mayuko's forehead. I bet you caught it on the day we planted those flowers. Mayuko avoided my eyes. Your temperature has dropped a little. How do you feel? It's 102 Fahrenheit. Thank you, OA, for our American friends. My god. Yeah, that's not an insignificant fever. Slightly better. At this rate, I'll be back on my feet by tomorrow. Do try to get better as soon as possible. We can manage when it comes to a number of things, but neither Sanai nor I know how to cook. Mayuko sounded a chuckle, her lips curling into a broad smile. I'll cook something nice for you two tomorrow. Well, you don't need to overdo it. I can handle making breakfast. There were 2 camphor tree branches in the porcelain vase, resting on the windowsill. One of their leaves had a yellowish green caterpillar. The whole site was illuminated by moonlight. Wow, very picturesque. Mayuko coughed a few times. Need some water? Yes, please. Her voice was barely audible, so she added a nod to reinforce her answer. I stood up and walked into the kitchen. I picked up Mayuko's teacup from the shelf and filled it with tap water. Once I was done, I returned to Mayuko with the cup in hand. I'll lift you up. I can get up by myself. Hey, no need to be shy with me now. I slid my arm behind her back and slowly lifted her up. Here you go. I offered Mayuko the cup. She took it with both hands and began drinking in slow gulps. I could hear the gong of the wall clock striking the hour from the corridor. I think I'll be going to bed soon. Okay. I prevented Mayuko from getting up. Hey, you need to lay still. Thank you very much. I feel much better now. Mayuko narrowed her eyes and smiled as she laid back down. I picked up the towel that had since slipped down onto her chest, and after cooling it down in the water again, placed it back on her forehead. Afterwards, I grabbed her now empty teacup and walked over to the kitchen to fill it back up with water. Once I was done with that, I placed the cup next to her bed. Thank you very much. Don't stay up too late, okay? I moved to the door and turned back one more time before leaving. Good night. Good night. Damn. That was a rather interesting background. Like, I still don't. I guess these are photos, or I still don't know if these are photos or very well drawn drawings. They look so photorealistic, but there's like this quality to it that could very well be like a really good filter. Returning to my room, I could see my curtains flapping in the wind. I rushed inside to close the window as soon as I could. I looked down at the floor. I felt like parts of it had become more expressed in color, but I couldn't see well in the freshly turned on and still somewhat dim light. The rain seemed to have become even stronger. The room was suddenly enveloped in blinding light as I sat down on the bed. Really? You think that's a 3D model, Jackie? That's very impressive considering the budget. It looks extremely realistic for a 3D model. I could hear 3 intimidating rumbles in the distance. Another thread of light pierced the skies when I was looking outside, causing my room to momentarily light up. Oh, hello, Dimitri. Welcome to the stream. I spent a few more minutes watching the lightning and stood up. Right, Dimitri. Yeah, I could tell like a lot during the vacations. Those were definitely photos put through a filter. But these scenes, and especially in Sachiko's office, as well as here in the sanatorium, I honestly can't tell whether they're photos or drawings, because they're not blurry like they are during the vacations. I carefully opened the door to the night duty room. Takako? Oh, so you were awake. After taking off my slippers, I stepped inside. Who is she talking to? Is this the other girl? Yes. I was just looking outside. The room suddenly lit up again. Oh, she's still talking to Mayuko. Okay, I see. I thought she had already left Mayuko's room. Mayuko closed her eyes, then opened them again. Can I sleep here? Oh, Mayuko came to her. Damn. Oh, that was... Okay, never mind. Takako came to sleep with her, I see. Can I sleep here? You might end up catching my cold. Oh, it'll be fine, really. I I've got good resistance against these things. I opened the closet, grabbed another futon, laid it down next to Mayuko, and promptly made myself comfortable on it. I noticed that Mayuko was still staring at me. You're not sleeping? It's hard to sleep with that thunderstorm still raging outside. You won't get better if you don't sleep. I know. Mayuko closed her eyes, smiling. I spent the entire day in bed, so I don't feel sleepy now. Yeah, that tends to happen when you're sick. I pulled up the sheet to cover my shoulders, still trembling from the cold. The thunderstorm appeared to have moved on to the other side of the mountain. Its booming echo could now only be heard in the distance. By the way, about the new notebook I gave you. Are you writing entries every day? Sure. Okay then. What should we talk about? Oh, what should we talk about? I don't think chatting will help you fall asleep. I replied after a short pause. Then you can talk, and I'll listen. But then I won't be able to fall asleep. Oh, God. Mayuko was overcome by a brief coughing fit. I decided to give in and do as she asked. What do you want to hear? Oh, here we go. Some juicy information. Tell me about something you wrote down in your diary. I'd rather tell you about one of my trips. You seemed curious when I mentioned I was reciting them to Sanai. I think I heard Mayuko inhale a breath, but it was too dark to confirm. That sounds nice. I'd definitely love to hear it. Was what she said in the end. Huh. That's an odd way to phrase it. New chapter. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. Did she like replace her body with a hug pillow there? Mayuko's like, crap, I need to use the substitution jutsu. Oh my God. Takako is a cuddler. Of course she is. Of course she is. Rustle, rustle. I opened my eyes to pitch darkness. For starters, I reached out to turn my alarm clock off, but my hand grasped on the air. Is this a flashback to their trip? We didn't bring it with us. Sachiko! Woo! Yay! Time for more fun trip flashbacks. Before we get to freaking misery where they're separated and oh God. And they think the other one is dead or missing or something or... We didn't bring him with us. I heard Sachiko's voice. As some light finally entered the room, a wallpaper I wasn't familiar with appeared in front of my eyes. I let my hand drop and used my elbows to sit up. Sachiko, sitting in front of the dresser and looking at the mouth, gave me a glance and a warm smile. Good morning. Good morning. I somehow got out of bed and walked over to the shower room. When I returned, Satoko had already finished dressing up and combing her hair. She also seemed to have turned on the radio in the meantime. I'm so glad we get to see more of them together. Now see, this is obviously a photo with a filter. With nothing but a bath towel on me, I walked to the window and looked at the scenery outside. Patches of blue sky peeked out from the thin layer of clouds. Hardly what one could call a bright day, but still good enough for sightseeing. It will clear up past noon, though it might cloud over again in the evening. I wish it was clear at night instead. Around here, it rarely seems to even rain during this season. Apparently it's fog we should rather watch out for. What do you want to do about breakfast? Sachiko, still in her chair, placed the comb on the table and turned to me. Through the window, I could see a cable car passing the intersection. Still in San Francisco. People filled the streets, even this early in the morning. Men and women in suits, casually dressed couples, travelers pulling their carry-on bags. They were all hurrying along towards their respective destinations. That cafe looks interesting. The establishment I pointed out through the window had a number of people seated at their outdoor tables, reading the papers while enjoying breakfast. What cafe? Sachiko stood up, came closer, and peeked over my shoulder. That one. Oh, I see. It does look nice. The place had been painted in stylish-looking purple. They seemed to be running both a cafe and a bakery, with all sorts of breads and tarts lined up in a showcase window. Oh, sorry. Hi, good morning. A waitress handed us the menu as we sat down at one of the outdoor tables. I glanced at the other customers enjoying their meals around us. That and that. I pointed at the man reading the newspaper while drinking cappuccino and made a hand gesture of drinking from a cup. Then I pointed at the chicken sandwich on the table with an elderly woman and made a gesture of biting into something in my hands. Oh my god! May I have the same as that? That's improvising when you don't know the language. Very clever. May I have the same as that? Okay. The waitress nodded and gestured that she had understood our request. She then turned to Sachiko. Are you ready to order? Yes. I'll have a coffee set, please. Sachiko. Girl after my own heart. All right. The waitress moved into the building after taking our orders. As she walked, her curly hair bounced behind her like a large spring. I feel like I've seen that waitress somewhere before. Really? We kept looking at her back until the door leading into the cafe closed. walked shoulder to shoulder under the somewhat clearer sky. I stuffed the macaron I brought at the cafe in my mouth. There were several more colorful macarons under the transparent wrapping of the long rectangular pack I'd been carrying. I want to check out this slope. I took a peek at Sachiko's map and pointed at one of the pictures on it. In that case, we should make a turn here and take the longer way around. Yeah, then we come out there, we continued onwards, alternating between looking at the map and the buildings around us. Hungry? I took out the macaron pack to Sachiko. Not right now. I just ate one. I picked up the pink macaron and stuffed it into my mouth. As I continued up the slanted road, I kept glancing upward into my sides. There are a bunch of plants under the red parasol set next to the black iron fence at the entrance of a flower shop. Reddish gerbera and roses. Yellowish matricaria. White Casablanca lilies. All sorts of colorful flowers adorn the establishment. Looking at flowers helps fill you with tender feelings, doesn't it? Did they remind you of something? Oh, did I swap them? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, good. Yay! The melody I hummed prompted Sachiko to smile and note how she was impressed that I knew the song. You knew it too. Oh, Sachiko, so sassy. The buildings lining the street we walked seemed to be an odd mix of general stores, cafes, and private apartments. It was hard to label it as either a residential or commercial area. I felt as though we'd been exposed to the backstage of a tourist destination. Yet, even in a place like this, the buildings boasted arched windows alongside lavish columns and buttresses. A cable car passed right past us, accompanied by a gust of wind. It rode up the slope, then continued downward, eventually disappearing from view. After we made a turn, we found ourselves climbing up a considerably steep slope. I thought getting to the harbor would be a piece of cake, but the road's still full of slopes. My legs still hurt from all the walking I did yesterday. It didn't take long for my forehead to get all moist with sweat either. Most harbor towns are like this. Sachiko, on the other hand, seemed to be doing just fine. Not even her expression had changed. Let's check out the cable car first. I walked over to Sachiko and borrowed her map. All right, we should go that way. I pointed at the downward slope located on the other end of the street, then grabbed Sachiko by the arm. I thought you wanted to look around. My legs are tired. Let's just go at our own pace. Well, I don't mind either way. I descended the slope while pulling Sachiko after me. Wow! The cable car we saw earlier stopped at a lone slope surrounded by buildings on both sides. We could also make out the sea in the distance. A cool gust of wind swept at us from below, carrying the scent of waves. We spent some time gazing at the sea until a cable car suddenly popped up on the horizon. As the vehicle, nearing its stop, began to slow down, the driver hopped off with the agility of a street performer, hurried over to the nearby lever, and flipped it to make the cable car turn around. Only the rear end of the vehicle seemed to have individual seats, while isolated in small cubicles and with windows. The front had no walls, only poles for standing passengers to hold on to. And instead of seats, there was a long bench splitting the car in two in the middle, allowing passengers to sit at both ends. The cable car's exterior was colored in dark green, with window frames kept in the natural color of wood. Its roof was reddish brown, with some outdated-looking advertisements lining its walls on the inside. The driver climbed back into the car as it finally finished turning around. That was the cue for everyone waiting at the stop to begin boarding as well. I stepped into the car first, and after turning around, pulled Sachiko inside as well. I continued to guide her to the rear end, as I often do, and made her sit on one of the seats near the window. You're not going to sit? She looked up to me from her seat. Yeah, I want to enjoy the sights from a higher vantage point. Okay then. You were the one complaining about being tired. Sachiko leaned against the backrest and let out a small sigh. Then, upon realizing that I was still looking at her, she raised her face again. What? Oh, nothing. Suppressing my smile, I shifted my gaze to the scenery beyond the window. And so we could continue toward the harbor, passing through cramped streets in the shadow of giant buildings, surrounding us at every angle. Oh, well, that was a lovely little interlude of their San Francisco trip. Oh, God. And now back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. I felt as though time itself had stopped in the dimly lit night duty room. I shifted my consciousness back from the memories and inhaled a light breath. I could hear rain outside. It was starting to grow louder, almost resembling our evening squalls. During times like that, I enjoyed listening to all the different sounds rain made, as it fell on the leaves, the glass, or the roof. Mayuko seemed to have already fallen asleep. With no one left to listen to my story, I stopped talking, and after adjusting the height of my pillow a little, closed my eyes. Sleep claimed me soon after my vision went dark. I felt almost like I was being swallowed deep down into the earth. I could hear the wind whistle somewhere in the distance. I could have sworn I saw spotted tears around Mayuko's eyes, but by the time I could confirm it, my consciousness had already drifted into deep slumber. Oh, God. Poor Mayuko. Snap! I woke to the unnerving sound of something extremely tense and tough, like a piano string, seemingly snapping in two, There was ringing in my ears. Oh god, that's one of her symptoms. I could see the contours of a traditional Japanese room in my hazy vision. Most of it had been overtaken by darkness, almost giving me the impression I was deep underwater. Oh god. The ringing suddenly grew worse, and my eyes misted over. I was sure that every monster known to man was lurking within that darkness, glaring at me with hungry eyes. Cold sweat covered my forehead. I slowly rose to my feet, careful not to make a sound, and continued to the kitchen. I found a cup and turned on the tap. The moment the water hit the sink, it sounded almost like standing next to a waterfall. I hurriedly stuck out my cup to block the stream. Oh no. I took a sip of the ominously sloshing liquid. My eardrums nearly exploded at the sound of water passing through my throat, making me fall to my knee in surprise. I made myself focus on the cold sensation in my stomach for relief. I leaned against the stove and embraced my knees. Oh god. Oh my god. There was like a gigantic cockroach just racing off across the floor that gave me a fucking heart attack. Oh god, okay. Jesus Christ. Oh god, jeez. Raced under a piece of furniture. Oh my god, okay. Closing my eyes, I remembered that special trick a friend once taught me that it would always help me fall asleep. I would imagine myself floating in the middle of an empty sea. Yeah, I'm okay. It just startled me. However, no matter how hard I tried now, a raging storm would come to carry me away. It moved so fast, I could barely see what it was. My god. I slightly opened my eyes and saw Mayuko sleeping in the night duty room. Reminding myself that I wasn't alone in this storm, I closed my eyes again. My god. What happened to her memories? You had another fit? Mayuko's voice rolled out like thunder. As I opened my eyes, I saw her rising from her futon and coming over to me. I closed my eyes again and responded by furrowing my eyebrows. I heard the rustling of clothes. Mayuko probably crouched down in front of me. She can barely see. Like, this is affecting her vision and hearing and her senses as well. I'm surprised she's not in a proper hospital. This is a very serious condition. Something touched my ears. It felt as though there was an intense, raging gust of wind trying to escape my ear canals now that this warm sensation had blocked it. I could hear the sound of pulsing blood, but it wasn't mine. As I began to focus on that sound alone, the others gradually faded out. Mayuko was covering my ears with both of her hands. That somewhat nostalgic sound of pulsing blood drowned out all other noises. I didn't mean to wake you. I'm sorry. I tried saying that, but with my sense of hearing going completely haywire, I wasn't sure whether my voice actually came out or not. Mayuko remained silent, keeping her warm hands on my ears. That warmth slowly traveled to my frozen cheeks. I felt the storm drawing farther away. The noise in my eardrums was gradually subsiding with every passing second. As my heart rate began to drop, I finally began calming down. The violent sounds drilling through my brain had finally died down. I touched Mayoko's hand, signaling that she could let go. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay now. Mayako tilted her head to look at my face in the moonlight. The area around your eyes seems reddish. Did you have a scary dream? No, it wasn't scary at all. I closed my eyes, trying to recall what had happened right before that fit. I think I did have a dream, but it wasn't scary. If anything, it made me feel warm and nice. I couldn't recall exactly what the dream was about, though. Oh, god damn it. And I didn't feel like trying too hard either, especially after that nightmarish ear-ringing fit I just had. Will you be able to go back to sleep now? I took a few moments to make sure everything around me sounded okay, then slowly nodded. On the other hand, with my mind finally clear, I couldn't help but wince at what all this implied. Let's make sure to check your diary tomorrow and see if you haven't forgotten something again, okay? Next chapter. Oh! Holy shit, okay. We got 2 tips. Wow. Does that mean we're going to switch back to Sachiko? Yep, chapter 2. The Hilltop Mansion. Oh, wow. We're going to switch back to Sachiko now, aren't we? Let's save for now. And let's go back to the main menu and read those tips. This is a good time. I gotta go to the bathroom. I will be right back. Damn. Okay, so we have 2 tips and a new chapter. I'll be right back. In the meantime, enjoy the beautiful title music. Disturb the chair, I think it's gonna like rush out and scare the fuck out of me. Jesus Christ. Okay, and we are back. Oh, hello! Welcome to the stream, the blue shifting. I haven't seen you before. Thank you for joining us. Anyway, we're about to take a look at some new tips. So yeah, we have different types of tips, I believe. We had 008, 208 consultation. So yeah, we got 2 tips. Consultation room and bedroom right there. So let's do them in order. Ready? Let's see. Now I think the tips are always from Narasaki's perspective. Watch this prove me wrong right here. Yep. Yeah, the tips seem to be always from Narasaki's perspective. I realize that I'm sleeping at the desk of my examination room. The clock displayed the time as 10 p.m. I fixed up my hair, stood up, and took a can of beer from the fridge. I turned on my portable radio, and after adjusting the volume, focused my attention on writing the daily report. I might have called it a report, but it was no more than a rough list of what had happened during the day, separated into a few sections. As such, I finished writing it with little difficulty. I mean, it's slightly annoying that you have to go back to the main menu to get to the tips, but it's not too bad. I also made a note on Sachiko's overall condition. Okay, so this is at least in continuity with in the time, like the figuring out the timeline to everything is probably one of the big mysteries of this whole story. She had yet to tell me anything vital. However, I felt like it was about time for me to act. With Takako gone, Sachiko came to live on her own. Huh. Oh, this is a clue. Sachiko has some kind of dependence on Takako? Huh. I had my doubts she could survive for long in her current condition. A song I used to listen to came on the radio. I paused and took the open beer can from the side of the table, but it was already empty. I stood up, walked to the freezer, and took out another can. I opened it, and after taking a gulp, shifted my gaze to the little window in the corner of the room. I could see the moon shining brightly in the cloudless sky. The sight made me calm down a little. I flipped through the pages of one of the medical records I brought from the library. The other reports did look more than like a diary than anything. It was full of stories about Sachiko, me, and her usual companion, Takako. Oh, okay, so never mind. This is in continuity with the other tips. Okay. I'd see Sachiko maybe once or twice a year after we graduated elementary school, but Takako seemed to have been with her for the entire time. Those two were quite the peculiar characters, to say the least. As I finished reading the page, I realized the volume of the radio had gone down. As I glanced at the radio, I saw that the red lamp indicating the light of the 2A batteries powering it had grown dim. It was about to go out completely. I considered removing the batteries and putting them back in. I even toyed with the idea of just shaking the radio. It was an old thing, though, with certain parts of it already rusted away. So I ultimately changed my mind. I finished listening to the distorted sound of the radio with a beer can in one hand, then focused on finishing my report. After a while, I realized I could hear a faint sound alongside the scraping noise of my pen against the paper. Oh, what is going on here? I paused, raised my head, and strained my ears to listen. It was coming from somewhere close by. That ticking clock is providing such tension. The more I listened, the more it sounded like someone's voice. Holy shit. Damn, okay. Is this some supernatural shit right here? I had no idea who was talking or what was being said. I felt like someone had been whispering somewhere in the vicinity. I took a closer look at the radio, thinking it might have honed in on some weird wavelength, but its light had already gone completely dark. I considered the possibility of the sounds from Sachiko's room traveling all the way to here due to some peculiarity of the mansion's design. Although I could no longer hear anything, urged by curiosity, I left my room. What is she going to discover? Oh God. Oh God. This music. Oh God. What is this, Halloween? Oh my God. Oh God. I had a slightly bad feeling on my way to Sachiko's room. It felt as though the corridor was colder than usual. The closer I got to her room, the colder it felt, and the worse my feeling or premonition became. My first thought upon reaching her room was to open the door. However, I then realized there was no light coming from her room, and that it was pretty much the middle of the night. I decided to first check if there were any sounds coming from the room first. Placing my ear against the door, I listened in. Oh, interesting. I felt like I could vaguely hear something when I was walking toward the room, but now it had fallen into complete silence. After spending another minute or so listening, I still heard no voices whatsoever. I began to wonder if it hadn't just been my imagination playing tricks on me all along. This is tense. In the end, I fell back from the door and gave it a light knock. There was no answer. Oh God. Here we go. I unlocked the door and slowly pushed it open to make a small gap, all the while careful not to make a sound. The cold seeping out from inside made my skin tingle. The faint ray of light making its way inside from the corridor gave the pitch-black room some color. I stopped pushing the door by the time the light reached up to the bed and strained my eyes as I looked into the darkness. However, Sachiko wasn't there. Damn! I pushed the door open and entered the room. Sachiko was nowhere to be seen. Oh, come on! You can't just end it there! thankfully, we have another tip which said bedroom. Okay. I hope this continues right after. Yeah, I think it does. Interesting that they gave them both to us to get both of these tips together. I wonder if there's a reason behind that. No matter where I looked, Sachiko was nowhere to be found. I considered the possibility of having mistaken the rooms, but after taking a better look, the sheets on the bed were obviously wrinkled. I tried coming up with the most likely possibilities for Sachiko not being here. It wasn't exactly the time to go outside, but perhaps she couldn't sleep and wanted to take a walk in the night. However, I also had the feeling it wouldn't be something so simple. I returned my attention to the room. It was much colder in there than out in the corridor. But its window was closed. Oh, damn. They are going all in on this supernatural shit now. I couldn't quite understand how that could have happened. However, I felt the room held the answers to her disappearance. As such, I decided to investigate it. The room seemed even darker than usual. I could barely make out the contours of the plants in the corner. It was possible that my eyes were just tired, or that there was something else I didn't think of, but I had a bad feeling about this. As I raised my face after checking the other side of the bed, I finally realized there was something left on top of it. Oh. Is it the Seabed book? It was the book Sachiko used to read all the time after coming here. I picked it up to realize it was not a book, but rather a notebook with a leather cover. There was nothing written on either the cover or the back. I checked its weight with one hand. After a quick glance around the room, I returned my attention to the notebook. I felt hesitant to read her personal notes, but I had no other leads. Besides, Sachiko had never left it like this before. I made up my mind and opened it. There were no separate sections to indicate schedules. Instead, it was a regular notebook with ruled lines. One neatly handwritten line followed the other, making up sentence after sentence. I failed to buy the extra cheap cuttlefish for 100 yen, so I bought 2 sea breams for 200 yen instead. I paid 100 yen for my daikon, but then found one at the grocery store that only cost 80. It's probably best to buy your fruit and vegetables at places like that. Yep, this is Takako's old notebook. Sachiko must have been reading it. I wonder if she's gonna look for Takako. I went on a drive to the mountains with Sachiko. On our way back, Sachiko spotted a pussy willow, and I plucked one of its branches for ourselves. She worriedly asked if it was okay. But when we got home, she decorated our entrance with it. Sachiko's name came up, so I assumed that this note was most likely written by Takako. At first, the notes seemed to be mostly about cooking, but as they went on, I realized she was noting down every single detail with little to no consistency. The date on the first page was from a year ago. This is insane! What is going on with the timeline? This is mind-blowingly insane. A year ago? And the notes continue jumping ahead days, sometimes even weeks, until they suddenly ceased, leaving most of the notebook blank. I checked the later pages to confirm it was really blank, then flipped through the entire thing again, trying not to get too caught up in the details. There was a point where the writing suddenly changed. It seemed like some of these were written by Sachiko. That makes sense. She continued the notebook. Oh my god, oh my god. If I was Narasaki right now, I would be scared shitless. The room suddenly grew completely dark. Turning around, I noticed that the door had closed behind me. Thinking that Sachiko might have returned, I closed the notebook. But it wasn't anything anywhere near as nice. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, what's going on? Oh my god! What's going on? As my eyes slowly grew used to the dark, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. What is it? Now this is definitely drawn. Oh my god! I think Narasaki just changed world lines! Oh my god! The foliage by the plants by the door disappeared. The bookshelf changed to a wardrobe, and there was now a new closet by the wall. This is fucking insane! Oh my god! And you all said there was nothing supernatural about this fucking visual novel. Yeah, right! Oh my god! Whoa. Yeah. Holy shit. My god. This is so fucking science adventure. Except like a bit more chill. But holy shit. There was now a new closet by the wall. Before I knew it, I was standing in a completely unfamiliar room. I felt a bitter chill rise up my spine as I confirmed that the notebook in my hand hadn't changed. Oh my god. What's in that bed? I turned around to see an unfamiliar bed with curtains. Uh-oh. I pulled one of the curtains aside and looked at the bed. This is insane. Top! Holy shit. Okay, Miss Doctor of Psychology, explain this. Oh my god. Oh my god! Takako was sleeping on her back with Sachiko nestled against her. What was going on? Trying to keep up with this unexpected situation, to say the least. I gave my surroundings another scrutinizing look. I started with Takako's face. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. My intuition told me that this Takako wasn't exactly alive. Then I realized I'd missed something. The date on the first page of the notebook was last year. In other words, this notebook might contain a description of Takako's death. I wondered why I failed to realize that as soon as I saw the date. But then again, weirder things had been happening around me tonight. I couldn't blame my head for not being able to keep up. What the? This story! As I was organizing my thoughts, Sachiko slightly moved. Her eyelids slowly opened. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is this a good Sachiko or a bad Sachiko? Oh god. And she got warped back. Oh my god. I felt like time itself had stopped. Before long, however, I found myself transported back to the familiar confines of room 208. Oh my god! Holy fuck! Oh my god, I am tingling. It is very clear we cannot take, like, we cannot trust anything we're reading. Oh my god, like there's, oh my god! Oh my god. Wow! Whoa! Oh my god. I love it when stories do this. When everything feels all slice of life and shit, and then all of a sudden, BAM! You're hit with the reality of the universe that you've fallen into. Oh my god. What is going on here? This, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Holy shit! And the incredible thing is, like, that is Narasaki, the character who basically is supposed to be the most level-headed of everybody. Like, she doesn't have any kind of, oh my god. It took 9 streams for each other. Oh my god. Alright, let's see what's going on! Woohoo! Let's get back to that chapter. Going back to Sachiko's perspective. The smell of a winter forest assailed my nostrils as the train car's door slid open. The platform I stepped on seemed to be made of stone. A gust of cold, humid wind blew a bunch of dried leaves up the mountain. Rumble, rumble. And the rusted train left the station, its sluggish movement reminding me of an old man with a cane. Now where is Sachiko? Oh, that's right, she's going to the hot springs. With that lady from Italy, from her trip to Italy. That's right. The station was silent enough for me to make out even the rustling of the grass. Stepping inside the station, I spotted a sign with the station name spelled out on it. There was also a bluish plastic bench. Its faded color the result of constant exposure to rainfall. Likely no one had sat on that thing in months. I took a few steps forward on the uneven stone-paved road with patches of grass sprouting from its cracks. My suitcase's wheel got stuck in one set crack. Realizing I wouldn't get far like this, I picked it up and continued carrying it in my arms. I could see a large oak tree in front of the station. The station itself was a wooden building sprouting wooden window frames, with a bored, yawning station warden loitering around its vicinity. I began rummaging through the bag in my hands, looking for my magnetic ticket card. As I walked closer to the ticket machine, the warden finally noticed me. He was wearing a blue uniform, but his tie was crooked, and he had no cap on. I soon spotted the cap hanging on the wall next to the desk he was sitting at. I finally found my wallet. Exiting the station, my gaze once again fell on that same oak tree from before. Upon closer inspection, I noticed it was somewhat slanted, hanging above the narrow road that only had space for a single car. So this is way out in the boondocks. Oh my god, look at that outfit! Oh my god, she looks so cute in that kimono! Oh my god! Wow, that really suits her. Speaking of which, there was an old-looking car parked at the side of it. And next to said car stood a long-haired woman in a kimono. Oh my god! It really does suit her. I guess it's one of those traditional hot springs that her family owns. Much more than the tourist clothes that she was wearing in Italy. Oh, hello, Princess of Balance. Welcome to the stream. Another new person. Thank you so much for joining us. She was fixing her hair, looking at her vague reflection in the car window. As I approached her, she spotted me and turned around. Miss Mizuno? Oh, that's right. Long time no see, sugar. It really has been a long time. You came to pick me up? Of course I did. Oh, hey, just put your bag here. She opened the rear door of the car, her graceful movements in odd contrast with her somewhat crass manner of speech. Oh wow, I guess giving her a southern accent wasn't too far off the mark. Huh. I am loving, honestly, all the things you guys are saying, how it's only just getting started. How this game is, like, only just getting started, because I have just been constantly, like, I think this is one of the most well-done slice of life pacings I've seen. In that, like, when I go over it in my mind, like, normally I'd be the type of person to think, wow, it doesn't seem like much has happened yet. But the way it's written is just, I don't know, for me at least, very engaging. It's been very engaging and I've never been bored with it, despite for the fact that a lot of it has just been regular old slice of life, you know? And with all this, like, mystery and now these supernatural aspects slowly creeping in. like sci-fi or supernatural, like I don't even know. Again, this like more than ever, I'm getting a huge science adventure feel from this, just in the way that it's set up. With my bag on the back seat and me sitting at the front, our car began climbing the mountain path. Nanai was at the wheel. Seeing someone driving in a kimono was an odd sight, to say the least. Still, she had to stuff her long sleeves into her sash and take off her clogs. We slowly but surely ascended the mountain, following the twisting, chaotic road. Near the curve to our left, we saw a rusted guardrail and a round mirror on an orange pole. To our right stretched the vast mountain slope, illuminated by sunlight filtering through the multitude of naked branches, their leaves long since shed. Nana sounded a brief chuckle. Your fancy magnetic train card won't work here. Seems that way, yeah. I'd never even considered it. So that's why it took a while for y'all up to get out of the station. You totally caught me off guard since I figured you'd be coming with the next train. I watched the patchy shadows of the foliage above dance upon the surface of the road. Apparently it had rained here recently. The few remaining drops of water sparkled on the leaves in the late afternoon sun. The car tilted a bit as its tires drove into one of the deeper puddles of the road with an audible splash. Like I'm trying to compare this to the slower scenes in the Higurashi console arcs, and like what I'm trying to figure out what makes these scenes so much better. And I think it's the fact that the things that are happening in a lot of the slower scenes may not be all that like a thrilling when you compare them to things in what you would normally try to see in a story, but they're not trying to be. And it's not trying to present itself as anything other than that, but then it just hits you with these big moments. It's like, and like the slice of life like just transitions out of it, like you don't know whether it's, I don't know, I just think it's done so much better here. I think it's because it's not trying to make you think it's something else, and it's letting your own mind. Yep, Jackie, those are the key words from this game. Everything happens for a reason. And I am just enjoying the ever-loving fuck out of this game. Overall, like seriously. The only faults I can honestly find with it are technical, rather than writing-wise. So far, at least. I held onto my seat, doing my best to maintain my balance. Better watch out. The roads around these parts can get tricky. Noted. The car seemed to have lost its seatbelt over the years, so I had no choice but to rely on the door handle to keep myself in place. Oh my god! The leather seat would change its shape with every jerk of the car. Though rough to the touch, the seat wasn't uncomfortable to sit on. It accepted my weight with just the right amount of resistance. The interior wasn't made of cheap resin sheet, but quality wood. Most likely the only reason it hadn't completely fallen apart by now. I spotted an animal toy that looked like a cat with long ears, and a small bottle with aromatic dried flowers hanging from the front mirror. The car's interior had a certain vintage smell to it, with a hint of an orange-like fragrance lingering about as well. The sea will come into view in just a second on our left, sugar. Her words made me shift my gaze to the window. Through the leaves of the chinquapin trees and wild camellia bushes, I could make out a small port town, as well as the sea further beyond it. As I admired the deep blue hue of the waves, visible through the morning moving foliage, a high-pitched sound, almost like a flute, filled my ears out of nowhere. Was that a green pigeon? I fought with the handle for a while to roll down the stubborn window. The wind, carrying the salty scent of the sea, blew into my face. I brushed the hair off my face and listened into the cries of winter birds as the cold wind caressed my skin. We managed to continue onto a proper road for a while, but soon enough we were back to driving through a rough mountainous path. If we would have continued down that road, we would have ended up at the port. Nana began telling me how she participated in some hotel owner meeting in the town earlier today, and how she spent the rest of her time in the market district, shopping for supplies. Apparently, she managed to find some unusually choice ingredients at a bargain price. In other words, I had dinner to look forward to. The trees became more scarce as we climbed higher up the mountain. There was almost nothing blocking my view of the port town anymore. From this angle, it looked like a split bowl opening to the sea. There were no tall structures in sight. The lack of obvious office buildings gave the land a sense of serenity and calmness. It really made me feel like I'd entered the countryside. I spotted an arch that indicated the entrance to a shopping district. Beyond it, small buildings with red and blue roofs lined the road like a mosaic. As the road edged closer to the sea, even those buildings became scarcer. There were ships and boats of various sizes, anchored on the other end of the big levee surrounding the town. Some were even sailing into the sea as I watched. I noticed a lot of poles embedded in the bay area, a little further away from the city. Are you building something there? Oh, I think those are seaweed farms, sugar. Oh, I love seaweed. How about y'all, Sachiko? I don't mind it. I think I really like seaweed when it's in like a wrap. And I love that. I've had seaweed chips before. They're quite good. In that case, y'all should take some home with you. We got plenty. We're almost there. As we cleared another curve with lush and blooming red camellia bushes, I suddenly felt as though I saw a thin line connecting the mountain and the port town. Can y'all see the gondola cable? I had to bring lots of stuff with me today, so I used the car, but it's usually a lot faster just to use that thing to get to town. It tastes good. They taste salty. They taste like really salty and nice. They don't taste like plant-like at all, if I can put that into words. Yeah, they're not very filling, but they are good. Yeah. My place is just a little further away from the station. I spotted a brown roof between the slanted red trunks of the trees and the reddening evening sky. The car took another turn at a three-way junction. A Upon asking what was there on the opposite side, I learned there was a small mountain village nearby. I heard the cry of a green pigeon again. Oh, this is a new track. We passed by a hedge fence with several yellow flowers growing on it, before finally reaching the actual inn. The actual building was colored in dull brown, and looked like it could melt in the snow-laden winter forest behind it at any moment. Windows with wooden frames lined the flat brick wall. Most of them were covered in ivory curtains from the other side. The tires made low crackling sounds as they drove over the gravel driveway. The car jerked a few times as Nana slowed down to align the vehicle to the parking spot. After a few more adjustments, we finally came to a complete halt. We're here! I stepped out of the car, feeling slightly wobbly after all that shaking, but the invigorating scent of flowers pulled me back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. I followed Nana along the gravel road, which was covered almost completely in golden flower petals. Oh wow, that sounds like it looks beautiful. Impressed by how her sash didn't seem to come undone after all that shaking, I glanced over her shoulder to inspect the inn. One side of the building was rounded and rose to the sky like a tower. Its lattice windows only adding to that image. It also had a pointy roof that reminded me of a witch's hat. From it extended a triangular roof with a few windows that covered the middle of the building. The rest of the roof was flat with a white fence for its parapet. Tall trees behind the building extended above its roof, their colored leaves rustling in the wind. The semicircular side of the building went out of view as I ascended the fan-shaped stone stairs at the entrance. The double doors had 3 rectangles carved at the bottom. And a window at the top. Above the windows, there was a rectangular patch of stained glass. Nana picked up my bag with one hand, while turning the metal handle with the other. She pressed the door half open with her shoulder, then turned back towards me. Welcome, dear guest. I see. This is bit. Now I can see a bit clearer. This is some very lovely CG work. This kind of reminds me of pre-rendered backgrounds. Very lovely. Really, Oe? You don't like miso soup? You must have just had a bad batch. Yeah, that must have been a bad batch. I've had bad miso soup before. Miso soup is normally very good. You must have had like a bad batch. Because it is possible for there to be bad miso soup. Wait here for a bit. Nana swiftly disappeared into the room beyond the lobby desk. The room fell into complete silence with her gone. This music sounds like a nice town in an RPG. I have to say. The sun had almost completely set, yet the lights in the lobby were still off.
The only thing to illuminate the floor was a rectangular patch of colorful light that filtered in through the stained glass. For a while, I kept staring absent-mindedly at the lovely desk. Its black wood surface was surprisingly cold to the touch. Behind the desk, I could see a fancy-looking cabinet with arched cat-like legs. Upon the shelves, I also spotted some old foreign-looking postcards, an artificial flower, and some early Christmas decorations, among other things. A transparent vase rested on the lobby desk with a camellia branch placed in it. Next to it was a silver mechanical register, decorated with vines. Sorry to have kept you waiting, sugar. Nana appeared in the doorway holding a green journal. Huh? Oh, it's working just fine, don't worry. Realizing I was looking at the register, she pushed one of its buttons, causing the lower half to open with a lively ka-ching. There are a few bills and some coins inside. We don't really use it that much, though. Nana closed it with another ka-ching. She then placed the journal on the lobby desk. I want you all to sign your name here. Yes, here, then here, and here.
What the hell is she signing? What the hell is she signing? That many times? Jeez.
After pointing out 3 places on the paper with her fountain pen, Nana popped its cap off and handed it to me. I signed my name 3 times. The grandfather clock that towered near the far wall of the lobby had just struck the hour. The clock's hand signaled that it was 5 o'clock.
I'll show you to your room, sugar. That's a lot more than 5 rings.
Nana stashed the journal under the desk, then circled around it. I was about to nod when the camellia branch trembled in the vase, almost as if to answer in my stead. We ascended the semicircular stairs and took a right turn on the second-floor corridor. The floors creaked under my steps. Windows lined the wall on my right. Looking out one of them, I could see the inner yard and its stone-paved path through a crown of leaves. To my left, I noticed several doors, all of which bore the same designs as the one at the entrance. We turned the corner at the L-shaped corridor when Nana finally stopped.
This picture! Wow, okay, this reminds me of a certain place in a certain visual novel I really love. Oh my god. This place. This place. I wonder if we'll meet a certain witch here. I'm not serious, but like, Damn, doesn't this remind you of the way the room is set up in Umineko? Holy shit.
This is your room, sugar? Oh, wow. She turned the key in the lock, opening the door. After entering the room, she left my bag by the side of the bed. I walked to the other end of the room and glanced outside through a large window. Its elegant lace curtains swayed in the light breeze.
Hello, Robert Cruz in line. Welcome to the stream.
It gave me a view of both the port town and the sea.
Oh, I was mainly talking about the slice of life in the console arcs of Higurashi. I quite enjoyed the slice of life in the main arcs. I was talking about the console arcs and like a lot of the slower moments.
I'll just leave your key here. Nanai placed the key, attached to a rectangular amber-colored and semi-transparent key holder, on the nightstand next to the bed. Anyway, I'll get back to work now. Y'all are free to go anywhere you want inside the inn. We also periodically check the windows, bathrooms, and so on, but as y'all can see, most of our equipment is pretty old, so don't hesitate to inform us if you find the lights don't work somewhere. I will. Thank you. I'd love to talk to y'all some more. So, what would you say to have dinner together tonight? And when will that be? How about an hour or so? Sounds good to me.
Cool! I'll come pick y'all up in an hour then.
Okay. Nanai moved to the door and left the room after making a curt bow. After glancing out the window one more time, I sat down on the bed. It had a vine-like canopy that seemed to be carved out of wood. I took off my shoes and stretched my legs.
Void Dweller, that super spicy ramen will burn your mouth if you don't have anything to counteract it. Like, I've had it before. My SO bought it, like, on a whim. And it is the spiciest thing you will ever taste in your life. Those super spicy ramens, like, the flavor is good, but it's just like an overpowering spice. That, like, really, that hurts your mouth. Those super spicy ramens, really. Like, I would, like, actually eat that if they had a version that toned down the spice to, like, a reasonable, normal level, because the flavor itself is quite good. I think it's just the spice, like, you literally feel your mouth is on fire. Oh god, Void Dweller, don't even start about ghost pepper. Those are dangerous. After I was done with that, I joined my fingers and stretched my arms next. There was a step down from the sill to reach the floor, which was at a slightly lower level than the door itself. The interior furniture was of an old Western design.
The green one-seater Victorian sofa had an acanthus leaf design carved into its leg. The color of the sofa's mahogany armrests have faded over time and looked almost black at certain spots. That said, its springs seemed to be in perfect condition, and with the tall backrest, the whole thing was a pleasure to sit on. I spotted a small chest on the cabinet that had the carving of a lion on its side. An ivy plant was positioned on top of it, covering its upper half with vines.
Apparition. Oh, thank you, Blue. I try. I always want to get better. Do you think this is a good... is this a good stopping point for today? It's a bit early. Crap. See, I think I'm ahead of Apparition now, so... I don't know if there's a good stopping point coming up soon. Or if now is a good stopping point. Yeah. Fuck. Damn. Let's see. I think this might be an okay break. Oh wait, you'll check for me? Thank you. And yeah, this seems to be another new track here. I just, I gotta say, the music in this story is so atmospheric and nice. Like, I'm good to stop here? Okay. Well, this has been an unforgettable stream. Oh my god. So we finally got 100% confirmation of like some kind of supernatural or sci-fi like happenings and goings on in the story, and holy shit. And we're also back to Satoko's side. Seriously, this is shaping up to be fantastic so far. Okay, let me save before I forget. I'll save over that because, you know, I only made that save because of the tips. Alright, you guys, so in 2 days, we will continue this. Tomorrow, more Higurashi console arcs, alright? Same time as usual. Until then, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.